You should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. The clock is ticking. And if you're miserable now and you change nothing, in 5 years you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
So recently, I was asked by someone in my comments to make a video about what if you're afraid to travel? What if you're afraid to become a passport bro? And I know that for some guys, that first leap, the initial step to go overseas and do something that you've never done may seem insurmountable. It may seem like something that is too scary to confront. Well, I'll give you something that's more scary to confront than not taking action. These are CDC stats for the leading causes of death by age for non-Hispanic white men. And as you can see, you have to get into the 45 to 64-year-old range before you start seeing death by natural causes, things like cancer and respiratory illness. But if you look at the leading causes of death for black men, homicide, which are not natural deaths, right? And then you get into heart disease, which are the leading causes of death for all black men over 45. So either death by someone taking your life or by heart disease, which is not a death by natural causes. Those are the trends for black men in America. And so if you're a black man in America, you're playing a waiting game. The averages are what they are, and you can try and live healthy and eat healthy, but the stats are the stats, and black men, we unfortunately are targets from our own at times and from other people. And when someone says that they're afraid to make the leap, I would say that you have, as black men, we have very limited time on this earth. We have less time than our Caucasian counterparts. We just do. Those are the stats.
The lesson for me was, why were you scared in your bed the night before? What do you need that fear for? Just don't go. Why are you scared in your bed 16 hours before you jump? Why are you scared in the car? Why could you not enjoy breakfast? What did you need that? The fear is fear of what? You're nowhere even near the airplane. Everything's up to the stepping out. There's actually no reason to be scared. It only just ruins your day. You don't have to jump. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of terror. On the other side of your maximum fear are all of the best things in life, you know?
When I first made the decision to make my leap and take my leap of faith, I had a plane ticket and I had $1,500 in my pocket. That's it. And I didn't know what I was doing. I only knew that I had the desire to do something different and do something that was going to change the trajectory of my life. And that's exactly what happened. Of course, there were many people who said, you're throwing your life away. You shouldn't do that. But we live one time. We have one time to live our lives. And if you live a life that's safe and the life that everyone wants you to live, at the end of all of it, they will look at you and tell you with a straight face, I'm not the one who told you to do that. It's your life. You should have did what you wanted to do. So why shouldn't you just do that right now? If your passion, your desire is to go see something else and see something new, what are you waiting for? Our time on this planet is very limited, and as black men, it is more limited than that. 2015 CDC stats for life expectancy. Black men from birth, 72.2. White men, 76.6 from birth. And you can see what black women living almost 6 years longer than us from birth, and white women living almost a full decade longer than us from birth. So they have different issues than us. We don't have as much time as they do. So if you're thinking about your counterpart, they're living 76 years, we're living 72. And that means a full 4.5 years, almost longer, which would be 1,600 days, 1,606 to be precise. We have fewer days to live our lives. So when you're thinking, not this year, not this month, you have fewer days to do what you're going to do in your life than the other people do. So be cognizant of that. Life is precious, and we only get a chance to do this one time. If you're afraid, think about the fear of the alternative. Think about you sitting on your hospital bed wondering about the things that you didn't do, because those are the ghosts that are going to bother you the most.